Warning, this Spoilercast does contain spoilers of current and past movies, books, games, TV shows, and possibly your life. So if you're listening to a show called Spoilercast and you're pissed off that we gave away spoilers, we really don't care. Thanks again and have a wonderful day.
Hello and welcome to another All Tower Media podcast. On this particular episode of Spoilercast, the hosts dive into Villain. Should be a pretty great episode. We always want to thank Spellbook Studios for providing us a recording facility to record Spoilercast. Be sure to check out their stuff over at spellbook.com. I do know that they have some news coming up, so be sure to listen to us and as well as their podcast to find out what that just might be. Also want to thank our friend D.A. Roberts. He has a wonderful website over at darkwaterfiction.com. You can check out all of his books as well as other authors. And finally, we want you to make sure you check out our friends over at Flick Freaks. We have some our hosts up here on Andrew Ormsby's podcast over there. He does some great Let's Plays as well as reaction videos, so be sure to check those out. Now perk up your ear holes, boys and girls, for another All Tower Media podcast recorded in a deep, dark dungeon by an evil mastermind. Or wait, no, that's just Roper. Enjoy!
Hello, and welcome to Spoilercast by All Tower Media. I am Roper, and your normal host here, and my abnormal host over here to my right is Jareth. Hi, Jareth.
To be clear, I'm normal, as in I am regular to the show,
yes,
but I am abnormal. I'm not arguing that.
Very much so. Back over to the other side, the other voice you're hearing is Allie. Hi, Allie.
Hi there.
How have you been?
I'm doing okay.
Excellent. And over
loving this weather.
Isn't it fantastic? It's supposed to snow.
It sounded a little bit sarcastic.
No,
I know that you weren't. Because the weather's marvelous.
No, it's marvelous. I'm a California girl. Are you kidding me? 69 in Missouri in January?
Yeah.
Couldn't be more happy. Seriously.
But the thing is that it's getting ready to snow here in like the next day or two.
Not according to my radar. It says that tomorrow it's going to thunderstorm. And Tuesday it's going to thunderstorm.
And then Wednesday it's going to snow.
No, shut your dirty poor mouth.
Torrential blizzard.
No, shut your face.
So over here at Master Control we have Dire Monkey. Hi, Dire Monkey.
Hola.
How are we over here at Spellbook Studios?
Great.
Anything going on over here we need to be aware of? I know you got an upcoming announcement we're going to do a whole episode over.
We are. And it's all on the board behind you, but we can't talk about it yet.
That's fantastic because I can't read it backwards like this. So
you need better spy training.
Well, I'm facing the opposite direction, number one. Number two, it's written backwards and it's way up high. So
again, spy training.
Okay.
I can read it.
That's good, but we're not going to because we're not ready for the announcement yet.
That's right.
Fine.
But anyhow, tonight's episode, we are going to have... Why are you snapping at me?
It's a C-snap. You just weren't looking like a bitch.
Jesus Christ. Well, tonight we're talking about villains. Right now, Jareth is my nemesis.
Everybody should have me as their number one.
Yeah, well...
You don't know what I've done yet, but that's because I'm a good villain.
All right, so starting off, Jareth, you don't have a complete list. You just have some... We were aiming at 10, but...
I've got a list I'm satisfied with. It's mostly like a top 4, but
okay.
I've got a lot of points I'd like to talk on about what makes a good villain.
Okay,
points to explore rather than to make.
Right. I think that we are looking at basically most stories antagonists, and for me, I was looking at what made a good bad guy. Or
does that include antagonists that are monsters?
Yeah.
Cool, then the alien totally makes it.
Yeah, I'm good with that because they are the obstacle that your protagonist in the story has to end up overcoming. And all.
I would personally argue that they aren't villains, though.
Well, on my list, and I won't get to where he's at, the T-1000, I see him as a villain, but he's nothing more than a programmed robot that's doing a task.
Skynet is a villain, though.
Skynet would be the villain in this. So, but of the Skynet robots that have been sent back, this one is the one that I end up selecting as my villain. So we're going to actually... No, go ahead.
are there any stipulations that we need to consider while discussing what makes a villain?
I want to kind of look at how successful they are.
Well, I meant like what qualifies them as a villain as opposed to just like a minion or I don't know, just like a dick with legs.
Well, not necessarily. I'll go ahead and start kind of because my honorable mention is Biff from Back to the Future.
Who is a dick with legs.
He is a dick with legs. He's nothing more than a bully, but he's a bully that quite literally spans throughout time. And it's not just him, but it's also all of his family, as we discussed during our meal just a moment ago. What's his ancestor's name?
Buford Mad Dog Tannen.
There you go. Mr. Buford is also a walking douchebag. And
Worst of the worst.
Of
the Buford
Of
clan.
them, yes. I thought it was Tanner.
Tanner clan. Sorry.
Yeah.
Tannen.
Tannen.
His name is Buford. Buford Jr.
Like Mario.
I got nothing. But Biff is, in my opinion, where it started. That's why I started with him. That's why he's my honorable mention. He's just kind of a walking douchebag. But of the people within the story, it was either him or was it the Iranians?
Yes. Or Libyans.
Yeah.
The Libyans.
Libyans.
Is the Libyans.
So why choose him? Is it strictly the fact that he's a dick wheel throughout time?
Yeah,
Or
that's exactly it.
just the fact that he persists?
If he's a dick with legs, why does he need a dick wheel?
Oh, the legs
Are
are
we really splitting hairs on why he's a dick wheel?
the legs are attached to the wheel. The wheel walks.
Wow.
It's like a pulley system.
See the spokes of the wheel are penises. That's what makes it a dick wheel.
Oh, okay.
The plane is crashing to the goddamn mountain.
Oh my god.
And then it's got
spiraling.
human legs that
We're
attach to the
spiraling.
hub,
Here we go.
and it waddles around.
We're spiraling a little bit. Allie, let's start with your list because you actually made a list.
Okay, do you want my number 1 or my number 10?
Start number 10, work up.
Okay, number 10. Galactus. I could not stand how they portrayed him in the first Fantastic Four movie. Since when was Galactus a fucking cloud?
Exactly.
Sorry.
We've
Should you be able to stand the first Fantastic Four movie?
Fair point.
What do you mean?
Or any of them, for that matter.
Fair point.
I'm saying that they're not very good movies.
They can't do that right.
I liked the first Fantastic Four movies that they did.
That's your right.
All right. Well,
I really did like them. And
You're allowed to be wrong.
Julian McMahon did an excellent job as Doctor Doom. Give it up. Give it up.
His acting job wasn't bad, but his version of Doctor Doom he was dumb.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same complaint that I have about Galactus. It wasn't as in keeping with the comics.
Now,
as it
Dr.
should be.
Doom,
but what
in
they
and
did to
of himself
Galactus
is a badass villain.
was a shame.
Doctor Doom, yeah.
What they did to Galactus was a shame.
Yes. Now,
And it made me really mad.
My issue with Galactus being a villain is the fact that that's kind of just his nature. He's just wandering around eating something. It's not necessarily just him being a bad guy.
Well, he does interact in a
Fair
more
enough.
intelligent fashion, but what I would argue against the Cloud thing is that, yeah, the Cloud wasn't very Galactus-y, but it's a lot more scary than that weird purple guy in the sky.
What, with the helmet?
Yeah, the
I don't know about
fucking
that.
I don't
dumbass
know.
helmet.
I don't know.
Looks
I
like
don't know. I disagree. Put a
looks like-
face on something that can do that.
he looks like
That's-
Elton John fucked Tron, and then that fucked a giant.
Oh wow.
Wow, that's quite vivid. So who's your number 8? Nine.
Syndrome from The Incredibles.
Yes. Yes.
He was hysterical, but
He's an idiot.
but spawned from such a stupid place.
Well, I
You know,
find him to be very successful. I think.
except for the cape.
That's the main bad guy, right?
No capes.
Yeah, the one with the red hair.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
liked him. His 0-point things were awesome.
He's a genius. You
He
know,
is.
Genies.
he's a genius, and he's
He's just an idiot.
yeah. Well, for all of his smarts, he's an idiot. You know, his blind spot is Mr. Incredible.
And the no capes.
Yeah, well,
No capes.
and the fact that he decided that he was going to take that baby, and that
Yeah.
baby just fucking owned him. Who's your next one?
Not really a villain, quote unquote.
Okay.
Notice I'm doing the air quotes. But Frank Dixon from The Terminal, the guy that was basically running the airport, was trying to kick Victor out of the airport for pretty much no other reason than to just get this guy out of his hair, which I thought was kind of fucked up.
So he's your list version of my honorable mention Biff. He's
Yeah,
just
kinda.
kind of a dick.
Yeah, just a dick for
There-
no
there-
other reason.
But there
to just be a
are
dick.
people like that in the world, I think.
Yeah.
And they're kind of real world villains. So.
Very real world, and I did like that aspect that he was just a guy being a dick, and that there are people in the world like that will do that for no other reason than to just get this person away from me. I don't want to deal with it anymore.
All right.
You know, I mean, he cut off the guy's food supply basically, and made
See,
this
now
guy
I-
scrounge for quarters and starve.
Like I told you earlier, I never watched that.
Oh, it's a great movie. Really, really
Didn't
is.
really have a desire to. Did you ever watch The Terminal, Jareth?
I don't even know what it's about.
It's Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks and Catherine Zeta-Jones and Stanley Tucci. That's the guy that plays Frank Dixon. That
Pronounced touchy.
no,
No,
Stanley Tucci.
it's touchy.
But so this guy comes from another country to the United States. He's at one of the New York international airports, and while he's in flight, something happens in his home country that there's some sort of political war going on, and now his country is no longer recognized as a country for whatever reason. So when he lands, he has no country of origin. They can't allow him to leave because he has no quote unquote citizenship of anywhere. So he has to remain inside the terminal until it gets resolved. He ends up living in the terminal for like 6 months or something.
Good
Might even be
God.
longer. Yeah. So they give him like food cards and stuff, and he's got to find ways to, take care of his hygiene, and he ends up getting a job there. Like it's a really weird movie, but it all takes place within this airport terminal until the final end when he finally does get to leave. And then he builds up a romance with Catherine Zeta-Jones, who's a flight attendant, so she's constantly in and out of the airport. And it's a really, really good movie. It really is.
Neat concept.
Who's your next one?
My next one is... Okay, we're getting up closer to the ones that I really like.
Okay.
The Butcher from Gangs of New York.
Yeah.
That guy.
Butcher
Whoa.
Bill.
Whoa, dude. Fucking
Yeah.
whoa. The guy's a maniac.
Yeah.
Maniac.
Fucking bananas.
And will stop at nothing to get what he wants. And
Even if what he wants doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense.
yeah.
But that's what makes a good villain, I think.
Yeah.
He's determined. He's
Okay.
tenacious.
Very
So,
tenacious.
Successful, determined.
Fantastic mustache.
Okay.
And there are people that are loyal to him out of
Are we saying that Andrew's
love and respect.
a villain?
He could be because of his mustache.
Wow. And he's determined. We could articulate he's successful.
Yeah.
This is scary.
The hell are you talking about?
Andrew.
The
Orange Bee from our friend over at Flick Freaks.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, then. You guys know him better than I do, clearly.
Yeah.
All right. You want my next one?
Yeah, who's is 6? We're on 6? 6?
Five.
5.
Davy Jones.
From Pirates of the Caribbean
From
or
Pirates of
just
the
in
Caribbean.
general?
The
No,
Partridge
from Pirates
Family.
of the Caribbean. I forget how you pronounce his name. Bill Nye?
Bill Nye?
Bill Nye, thank you. Whatever. He
It's
was
a weird
great.
name.
Stanley
He was
Tucci.
great. He was great
Bill Nye.
portraying that character.
I think it was excellent, yeah.
And it was. And the fact that he could literally just submerge and then pop up out of nowhere terrifies me. I
Wait.
hate the concept of a villain that can just appear.
Bill Nye didn't play Davy Jones.
We're not talking about Bill Nye.
Who?
Yeah, he did.
Or it's
Yeah, he did. It was the same guy that
Nye.
did. It was the same guy that
Look
was
it
in
up.
Underworld.
His first name's probably wrong.
He's the guy that
Might be wrong.
He's the guy in Underworld, yes.
Yeah, in Underworld, same guy.
And Shaun of the Dead.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
It's Nye.
Simon Pegg's stepdad.
Nighy, I think is his last name. Might have the first name wrong. That might be
I
what's-
guess I might, but I was pretty sure I had it.
Bill. Yeah, it's Bill.
Bill Nye. Okay,
Bite
yeah.
me, dire monkey.
Bill Nye, the
Oh, I'm getting the
squiddly
finger.
guy.
I got the finger.
That's right. We're getting fingered up in here.
Yeah.
Whoopee.
All right, so who's the
Wow.
next person on your list now that we've resolved that?
Scar. From
Scar,
Lion King.
The Lion King?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because he's kind of an asshole.
Because he's a total asshole.
Well, that's, yeah, any other reason or just that he's an asshole on a lion?
I'm going to murder my brother and then blame it all on my nephew.
Yeah, that's just terrible. That's,
Just so I
and
can
it's-
fucking take stuff over.
even though they never really completely address it, there is a fan theory about some stuff that went on when Mufasa and Scar were kids, and there's just been bad, bitter blood. So this is something that he had been plotting on doing for quite some time.
Well, where did he get that scar from? And why did his parents name him Scar?
No, he actually has another name.
He does what?
Yeah, he does. He has another name.
What's his other name?
I forget. But
Jeff.
Jeff. Thank you. If you weren't so far over there, I'd give you one of these. Bam! At a distance.
Anyway,
Next.
number 3 would be Darth Vader.
Okay.
Really?
Yes, his level of control and calm, even when he's that first guy that he's just choking out, he's so collected and so calm when he does it. He's just like, I don't think I want you to live anymore. You're done.
Which is a total opposite from Kylo, because
complete
he's
opposite.
just a giant rage baby.
But that also makes him terrifying. I don't know what's worse, knowing that there's a guy that can just kill you on a whim, even though he's totally
Honestly,
calm.
I think that
or manic.
what is more scary is a person that's cold and calculating and methodical,
Yeah.
and someone that takes his time, and versus the little rage monster.
I don't know.
Seriously,
See, because here's the thing: like Darth Vader,
Yeah.
he's not going to kill anybody that's not. He's not angry, really.
Mm-hmm.
He's just going to kill somebody he needs to kill.
yeah.
Or if, like, that motherfucker's not... Well, first off, he needs to learn how to interrogate. Don't choke a person you're interrogating.
Yeah, right.
Well, not necessarily.
They can't answer you. He chokes them to death, and he's like, where's the fucking rebel base?
Well, you killed the only guy that had the answer.
He drops the guy. He's like, can you believe this fucking guy? He wouldn't talk.
kick a corpse.
But, like, Kylo Ren, he might just kill somebody on fucking accident
Yeah.
because he's throwing a goddamn fit. Darth
Hence
Vader's...
the reason those stormtroopers turned around and walked the other way.
Which is that's probably one of my more favorite scenes that entire movie.
Yep.
Like, Darth Vader's not going to accidentally hurt anybody. You'd have to really piss off Darth Vader. You have to work at it. Kylo Ren, you're just like, I've got bad news. The toilets are broken. And he's like, what? And then he just like goes to town, and some dude
That
walks
was a very
in.
impressive lightsaber noise. Thank you.
Was it just me, or watching him throw his temper tantrum and smashing the shit out of the control panel? Could you not help but think, now they're going to have to replace all that?
Yeah, right.
It
I
looked
did.
expensive.
I know. I'm like, when I watch that scene, I'm like just hearing the dollar bills just
Yeah, right?
in my head. You know?
And somewhere, some person's watching him doing that going, damn it, I have to fix that.
I wish the guy...
That's my job.
The guy who was telling him that, he's like, that fires all of our guns.
Later in this movie...
That's the life support on the ship.
Later in the movie when you're going to tell us to fire the main cannon.
And we can't do
now.
it. Oh, that's funny.
Who's your next? Number 2?
Number 2, Joffrey Baratheon.
Yes.
For the same reason.
That guy's a super dick.
Because, the reason I didn't put Kylo Ren on my list was because I put Joffrey Baratheon. It's the same type of thing. You want to give a kid that is that manic and that emotionally unstable control of everything.
Yeah, but he's
and
way
expect
more
there to
of a...
be
That
good
kid,
results.
that kid right there is exactly who you would expect to find chopping off a mouse penis.
See, that's... Yeah. Because, like, compare...
There needs to be context there for the listeners.
Nope.
Because
Nope, we're just leaving it with that.
God.
I don't think
You're
that...
evil.
I don't think Kylo Ren and Joffrey really compare. Because Kylo
No.
Ren's
No,
seeking...
Joffrey's so much worse, but that's
Oh,
why.
God, yeah.
No, but Joffrey's the reason I bumped Kylo Ren.
He's
Because
a
Joffrey,
spoiled, evil fuck.
evil with absolutely no,
I think the best scene with
no
him
care for human life at all
is
whatsoever.
whenever he's got the what's her face, the chick, and he's got the crossbow.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck.
Right
that
after he
scene.
marries Salsa.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, buddy.
Terrible.
Sansa.
I call her Salsa.
Okay.
There you go.
Sansa.
I was just making sure that...
But no, he's with the crossbow. You're talking about the whore, Ross. What is her name? Rosalind.
I believe so. Ross. Yeah.
Ross. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Yep,
And they
it's
don't
like,
even really show you
by-
what happened.
By
but
the
then
way,
they cut back to it later, and she's just attached to the bedpost with fucking
arrows.
With arrows.
Yeah,
all
and you're
through.
like, yeah.
Whoa.
It's like, I own you, and so I'm going to kill you because
Yeah.
it's what I want to do.
Yep. Or the scene when he's making Roz torture the other whore.
Yup.
Just for shits and giggles.
Yup.
Yeah, he's a bad dude.
Nice present there, Tyrion. Okay.
Well, I don't... Tyrion didn't know.
Yeah.
No, he didn't know. Obviously he didn't know.
He had an idea.
He knew he was a bad dude, but he's like, I'm going to let him bust a nut, and hopefully it'll even him out.
Yeah, we're just going to take away a little bit of the frustration, and maybe that'll make you a little bit more normal. Because right now,
Instead, he went straight to, let's go to sexual torture.
yeah,
Yeah. Informative murder porn.
So number one.
Number one.
If Joffrey's her number two,
What kind of fucked up jackwagon is number one?
It's a good one.
Okay.
Clyde Shelton.
that would be
Do you know the name?
The name sounds very familiar.
got
Dire
nothing?
Monkey. Do you know the name?
Didn't he have a country western song a few years ago?
No.
We're talking about this is Law-Abiding Citizen. Right?
Law-abiding citizen. Gerard Butler's character.
See, that
went-
right there makes my point about the cool, calculated, long-term plan.
Yeah. Well, but see, here's the thing.
But everything
He
was
did.
already laid out in advance for him.
Yeah, he did the manic stage in the beginning, right after his wife and his daughter are murdered. He does the manic thing, and then he's able to collect himself and then formulate this entire plan that took years to put together. So much money spent on this. I mean, he had a secret door that let him out of his cell. He tortured this guy on camera, glued his eyelids open with a fucking video screen above him, and made this guy watch his own torture.
Hell yeah.
It was like, my fucking God.
Yeah, no, he's...
Dude,
Yeah.
wanted to get caught, gets put in jail, then has a secret trap door in the cell because somehow he knew that's the cell that he would end up in, and he's escaping and doing other things. And he's got this whole just evil room where he's got all of his supplies for all his plans. It just blew my fucking mind, that movie. It really did.
It's excellent.
It is excellent.
I really enjoyed
and
it.
To me,
I would
that's a
say
scary
he's,
person.
He's definitely villainous. Like, yeah, he's a good villain.
But he knew that he'd be the villain, and I like that. I
Well-
like that he knew that he was going to exact his revenge, and he was going to get arrested for it.
He
had no problem with
he's
that.
just like, I don't care.
Yeah, but
I don't care.
he went through the manic stage, he collected himself, and then was able to
Yep.
do everything that he wanted to do with a
Yep.
clear head and follow through with it all.
That's somebody who
And it
doesn't
was-
like. That's somebody who doesn't let go of their rage and
No. That was amazing.
their issues. So, who do you have on your list, Jerath?
So my list is short and is unfortunately very Marvel heavy.
Okay.
Which is...
We'll have a little overlap, I think, you and I.
It's largely due, I think, because of how steeped in Marvel media has become, and I've become.
And that's all right.
But they've also been killing it lately with their bad guys.
Yeah, they have. I think two of them are going to be on my list that are on yours.
So, yep, almost certainly.
Yeah, if not three.
So I really like Loki. He's coming in at number 4.
He's in my list.
I like him for a lot of reasons. The things I don't like about him are the punk bitchy sides of him. Like, oh, my brother's better than me. I guess I'm evil now because I'm adopted.
Yeah.
It's like, stop being a bitch. But
Well,
he-
okay, it was purchased by Disney, and we all know how step things go in Disney.
Yeah.
it's true. But we
can run this angle in the Marvel universe.
the methods by which he they didn't even have to. That's pretty much how he was in the comics too.
Right.
It's just, well, I'm adopted now, so I guess I'm bad. But
Best selling point ever.
he was hard to convince. His methods and the level of manipulation and
Yeah.
control of every situation that he has makes him a strong villain. Of course, his powers lend to that, like with the power of illusion and mind control and et cetera, but even on people who he can't use the powers on effectively, he still uses subterfuge as a weapon in a very strong way. Third, I'm going to have to go with Purple Man
Yeah.
from Jessica Jones. Yeah, Kilgrave. Because that name's awesome. Not Purple Man, Kilgrave.
Kilgrave.
Purple Man's a terrible name.
Purple Man is a terrible name. It's like the Kool-Aid Man's long lost brother.
Oh, yeah. God, I wish I had something that I could, like, break while I said that. So something like I came through the wall. Or like a tinfoil wrap. I like him not because he's a good guy at all, but as a villain goes, he's a very believable supervillain.
Yes.
All of his...
Even though his powers, honestly, kind of stupid. I mean, don't get me wrong, he has mind control, okay, but he needs to be a little bit more precise in what he's telling people, because like what he ends up doing on one of the scenes, he tells somebody that they need to put a bullet in their skull. And so Jessica crushes the gun so she can't shoot herself, so she's sitting there tapping a bullet against her head, and Jessica comes back and takes the bullet, and she puts it in her mouth, and she goes, now you have a bullet in your skull. You've followed his command, you're now done. It's like, if you really want to kill yourself, he needs to, if that's his goal, if that's what he's going for, then do it to it. You know.
Well, his power aside, what I like about him isn't. It's mostly how human he is.
Yes.
So normally we see a supervillain and they're like, or like somebody with superpowers who is villainous, as opposed to a supervillain who's like, I'm a finger steepling bad guy. I'm going to steal all the money in the world.
Right.
Because what would you do with all of the money in the world? Then you'd have all the money and
it'd be useless.
The economy would be gone.
Totally useless.
Yeah, but he has strictly very human wants and desires. He's not, I'm going to rule the world. He's not, I don't need it. He doesn't need a bunch of money. He walks in, he gets whatever he wants. He's like, I want a new suit. Walks into a tailor, make me a goddamn new suit.
And the guy's like, okay.
I want sex.
I think
give me sex.
I think the scariest part of watching
Is that from
him,
the tailor too?
Yeah,
maybe
Okay.
if he wanted it. That's the point, though. It's he tells you to do. I think my favorite line by him throughout the entire first season was where he looks at. He's telling Jessica, he's like, "I once told a man to go fuck himself. Can you imagine?"
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, you poor baby."
Wow.
Yeah, he's playing pity parties. What he's doing, he's like, "I have to watch everything that I have to say. I once told a man to go fuck himself. Can you imagine?" When in 2-3 episodes in, when you first cross paths with him, he walks into the house and then he tells the kids to go hide in the closet and stay there until they don't come out or don't ever come out.
Yeah.
And they walk over and they put themselves in a closet and you see pee coming out from underneath the door because he doesn't want them around, and so he puts them literally in a closet and tells them to fucking stay there. And then mom, she's cooking dinner, and dad's just like, oh yeah, he basically makes mom and dad into servants and then leaves the kids in the closet essentially to die.
He's invariably a villain, but he's a very human entity.
Yes.
At no point do I disbelieve his motives.
He is the epitome of an obsessive boyfriend who's fallen in love with a former crush, and he wants her back, and he's just doing it in the most psychotic possible fashion.
He is a raging psychopath.
Yes.
Who has obsessed over somebody.
Yeah.
This isn't a matter of falling in love with somebody. He has tagged her as an object of obsession.
You can say no to me, therefore I want you.
Yeah, because that's the only thing that he can't have. So he's cool. I like him. Not like I'd hang out with him and have a beer. But I mean, I would if he told me to.
Right.
More than also he's played by David Tennant, which is my favorite actor.
Makes it
that
excellent.
Man could play. He could play Hitler, and I'd be like, Hitler, yeah. Fucking love David Tennant. Kingpin from Daredevil. I fucking loved Kingpin.
The man crushes a human being's skull off of their body
with a goddamn car door. But his like quiet intensity at all times is just marvelous.
Until the episode where he ends up crushing the guy's head off, I was really questioning back and forth on whether or not he could pull off the Kingpin. Because, I mean, everything you'd seen on him up to that moment, you're just
I think isn't that like the same episode he's revealed, or is it like the second or third?
It's like the second.
I just watched it today. It's the third episode.
I was about to say it's the second or third. But he's the first couple of ones you watch him, you're like, and you haven't quite been sold on it yet. And you're like, and then that happens. You're like, yup, this guy's fucking it. And then you get around to his Good Samaritan speech, and
with him specifically, the Kingpin from the Daredevil TV show, as opposed to any other version of Kingpin, it's not so much his like what they made him into. It's the delivery, the acting is what delivers that character. He has such specific ways of speaking, like the way he frequently pauses and he draws in breath through his nose. Like
he is seething.
No one else is this character.
Nope.
And it's just, especially if you see Vincent D'Onofrio, I think is the last name, in any other role, like for example Jurassic World, 100% different guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he much like Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman's a freaking shape-shifting alien.
They're chameleons.
Yeah.
They're wonderful, though. He's different in Jurassic Park than he is in Jurassic World than he is with Daredevil, and he's a different person than whenever he's in Law and Order: Criminal Intent. But it's the same guy, just different on all of them. And then the Daredevil, the old Daredevil movie.
Daredevil with Ben Affleck.
Yeah. The Kingpin that was in that.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Thank you.
Can we, since we were talking about Vincent D'Onofrio, can I just bring up that movie that he was in with Jennifer Lopez?
What's that?
Shit, I can't remember what it's called.
I don't know.
He's absolutely insane.
We're looking at a list of all of them. All of the names here.
Oh my god.
Do you remember?
Why am I brain farting on this right now?
I don't know. So, moving on until she comes up with this name.
So, yeah, the acting job, also, again, a very human. His goals are far more ambitious,
well, I
but
think
he's a very human entity as well.
Different than Kilgrave, his goals are a lot more lofty, and he's deluded himself into thinking that he's the good guy.
Which is typically one of the best... oh, God, that fucking Good Samaritan speech.
I know, right?
I was like, yeah! He's gonna fucking kill every one of you fuckers.
I thought I was the Samaritan.
Yeah,
but I'm not the Samaritan.
I am the ill intent.
I am the ill intent.
God, like, damn. Oh, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna throw on honorable mention to fucking Walter White.
There you go.
He gets in there because he's got a lot of that same. He's got the humanity. He's got a lot of.
But he doesn't start off
in him.
He doesn't start off as your villain.
No, he's kind of the anti-villain, in my opinion. By the way, the movie was The Cell. Just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Oh, horribly creepy. Oh, just will fuck up your nightmares. Go watch it.
But Walter White's also good, but he'd probably rank somewhere around 5, so back up over Loki.
Yeah.
So that guy's great, largely because of the acting. I like him, but then there's my number one, which is fucking Ozymandias from The Watchmen.
Yeah. My favorite part about him is the fact that he doesn't divulge his plan until it's already done, and you can't stop him because it's already done.
Also, he's not actually the bad guy.
Right?
He literally stops World War III.
Yes, he does. But how he does it is kind of diabolical.
True, he kills a lot of people doing it, but I mean,
he's looking at what he considers to be the greater good, and in the eyes of those that are the good guys, they're going, "You can't do it that way," and he's like, "Already did."
The godlike being in the room was like, "Yeah, he can. It totally works. I'm good with it."
Right?
That's a dual role because Ozymandias in the actual graphic novel and the movie are number one.
Yeah.
Because really, it's essentially the same plan. It's just the way it's executed in the graphic novel's dumber.
Yeah, I do like how they manipulated it in the movie. It made it, in my mind, better.
A lot more believable and interesting.
Yeah. Because in the graphic novel, they were not only capturing all the world's scientists, but also the world's artists.
So that they could create this giant alien monster.
To have it erupt in the middle of everything. Why not just hang the bag on Dr. Manhattan and call it good?
Yeah. What I like about him as a villain is that he's not actually a villain. Like, he does a villainous thing.
Yep.
He does things the way a villain would, but his intention is strictly good.
His execution and method questionable?
Of course. Now, there are lots of other villains that do things that are strictly... that are... like mathematically good, like, you know, kill one, save 1,000.
Right.
But his makes so much sense because he is literally stopping the extinction of mankind by itself.
Yep.
All by sacrificing a few thousand lives and getting rid of the blue god monster. So,
With a big blue dick
yeah, it's
flopping in the breeze.
and the fact that he does all of this strictly by outsmarting everybody, and
That's his power. That's his thing.
he's not really super intelligence is a power, but like all of the Watchmen aren't really powered.
Except
They're just
for
like
Dr. Manhattan.
Well, yeah, they're better than normal.
Yeah.
But none of them
Except
like,
for him, because his thing is his superior intellect outsmarts everything.
Oh yeah, and he beats everybody's ass whenever they show up and they're like, "We're gonna fucking fight you," and he's like, "No, you're fucking not. You're stupid."
Yep. What, are you going to shoot me?
Yeah. Also, his like cat monsters, awesome.
Yeah. Until they destroy it.
Oh yes, that was a bummer. I was like, no. So he's an awesome villain.
Excellent villain. Excellent villains.
He was the only one that like leapt to mind when you were like, oh, top 10 villains. I was like, Ozymandias totally makes the list.
I absolutely considered him. My argument against it was the fact that his intentions were of the greater good.
Well, I mean, if you're saying Biff is a villain, then I think that Ozymandias definitely.
I said he's an honorable mention.
Well, yeah, I know, but we've got other people who are just like they are antagonists, not villains.
Yes,
So-
which we discussed. For mine, I'll kick mine off. We already did my honorable mention of Biff, Back to the Future. Bottom of my list, I have Mama from the movie Dredd, which is the new version of the Judge Dredd.
Played by Lena Headey.
I believe that's her name.
Yeah, she was jacked up.
The first scene that you actually see her in, where they've got the three guys that have wronged her in some fashion. They've got a drug that's an inhaler, and it's called slow-mo, and it makes you perceive everything that's happening in
seems
real
like
time.
A jacked up drug.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like
That would drive me crazy.
yeah.
So they take it, it makes you high, everything's all glittery and hyper intense colors and all this good stuff, and there's like shimmery, glittery things and whatever, but everything's perceived in slowed down time. And she gives him a hit of it and then throws him off the top story of this megalith.
Yeah, it's like
Ooh.
freaking 100 stories tall.
And so
Wow.
they're slow motion falling the whole way down until they become pudding on the ground.
Do you think the pudding happens in slow-mo too? Like, do you think they feel...
Well, actually, as they're doing that in the scene, they're actually perceiving themselves dying in slow motion.
I think
that would be horrible.
I think the reality of
Horrible.
it probably like the speed up comes quicker than we'd think.
Right, but it's still kind of awesome, and she's still kind of fucking monstrous.
Oh
in-
yeah,
in
she's
the
a
whole thing.
she's a bad lady.
Yeah, she truly.
I love
is.
Lena Headey. Can I just say that?
What I like about it is by the end of it, Dredd, who's kind of, for being who he is, he's kind of even keeled. And at the very end of it, he does exactly that to her too. He gives her a hit of it and throws her off a building.
Nice.
Cause fuck that bitch.
I mean, super duper fuck that chick.
I mean, she like forced somebody to get eye implants so that they could watch her goddamn
Security
security
monitors.
all the time.
yup.
And he was really nice.
Yeah. He was very much bullied into position. My next is Talia al Ghul from Dark Knight. Talking about somebody who also holds onto a grudge for a while, goes deep undercover in order
And
to
has
execute their
unnecessary
plan.
sex with somebody.
Doesn't matter. Irrelevant. Maybe that's part of her.
This
cruel
is part
ploy.
of my revenge.
We'll get in some. Maybe she's
Think she made her snatch all nasty before she did it?
You
Maybe.
have you watched the
maybe claw that. Yeah,
Have you watched the
Batman
Badman-
can't start having
God,
stuff
that's fucking amazing.
that was a cruel ploy.
In an
order that would sign me up for another.
So you're telling me that if I touch this
Ass
button,
mouth vag.
if I touch this red button, an explosion will happen.
A. B. A is for Alfred. B is for bats.
That's one of my most favorite things in the. Now you have my permission to cry.
What are you crying right now?
Last night, you were the one that had 9 inches in you.
This isn't the first time one of us has shoved 9 hard inches up into the other. Was it 9 inches?
Have you guys seen the other ones?
Yes, I've watched most.
Dr.
Yeah.
Fishy, no!
So my next, now this is it's based off of the same entity, but 2 different movies. But in both of them, they're a bad guy, and it's Gabriel, the Archangel Gabriel. The first one is from the Prophecy, and that is when
he's Christopher Walken. God, yeah. The devil has to step in and help them.
Yeah, well, the next on my list is Lucifer from the Prophecy, and I'll explain why here in just a minute. But Gabriel is basically your main bad guy throughout that entire thing.
Yeah. He's like, humans be bitches, yo.
Yeah, he's like, I hate you all because God favors you, and I hate you because God favors you. And
nice way to repeat yourself.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Beep, beep, beep,
but
beep.
he's trying to get the Eater of Souls, the little girl she's fucking monster. There's the whole scene where she's standing up there on the cliff's edge, and she's got her hands behind her back because she's been inhabited by the ghost or the spirit of the old Vietnam soldier that he's literally a fucking animal himself, and he's the Eater of Souls, but now she is, and Gabriel's trying to get her in order, because all these souls have been trapped in their bodies waiting to go to heaven because of the war. And they say that any heaven that's not heaven is just another hell, and that's when Lucifer steps in.
And he's like, I don't want another hell.
I don't want another hell, you all.
I've got a monopoly on hell right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to help you take him down.
That it takes the devil to help stop this guy, but Constantine's version of Gabriel is the female, the chick.
The intentionally ambiguous. Like, it's obvious it's played by a female, but like it's
still it's Gabriel, and Gabriel in this in Constantine,
an androgynous look.
And Gabriel and Constantine, her whole point or her whole thing again is
different thing there. Dark Monkey.
Yeah, wrong movie. Her intention there. Let's see here. Gabriel is Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, there you go. She's Gabriel, and anyway, in this, she's also again trying to save humanity by literally creating hell on Earth.
She was starting Armageddon so that no new, like...
It was to make people repent and be... It's like, okay, I will show you what suffering is. I will show you what badness is in order to save you all.
You guys are all being bitches. Watch how shit gets worse.
Oh, you want it to be... You think it sucks now?
And
how about I literally release hell on your world?
And again, the devil was like, Gabriel, come on, man.
Exactly. Next is Lucifer, but from the Prophecy, and that is Viggo Mortensen in that movie, and... He shows up. He's in it. It's just like the last few scenes, and he's only in it for a few minutes. And you see him, and he ends up eating an angel, and he's got blood just running down his face, and he's tapping his fingers together and goes, I love you more than Jesus. And you're like, okay, this guy's kind of fucking intense. And he's talking about how he's going to lay you out and fill your mouth with the shit from your mother, and you're like, oh, you don't fuck with that guy. That guy's an animal. And so Lucifer trumps Gabriel in this instance for me, and I think the devil probably... Thank you. I think the devil probably is going to trump out a lot of things, but it's all about, again, the presentation, because I didn't put the devil on here from Constantine, because he was kind of a...
He wasn't really villainous.
Yeah, he's just kind of... He was just... He was just kind of there.
He was a guy.
Yeah,
he's like, motherfucker, you're bad for business. Come
Stop
on.
fucking with the order of things, Gabriel.
I told my kid to stay in his room. Stop making him get out.
Exactly. And for that, I really wasn't sold on it. But for the few minutes...
devil.
Exactly. For the few minutes that that Lucifer was on scene for the Prophecy, in that instance where they're just there... very intense, very sold very, very, very well. Just a few select lines that made it really good. Obviously, I said I have the T-1000 on here, but as we mentioned, it's not necessarily the T-1000, but it is Skynet. And
because Skynet's a dick.
Skynet is a dick.
But I think that, much like we've discussed in the past, I think if it was going to do the job and do the job right, why not take your better developed models and send them further back in time, or
have them carry a goddamn nuclear weapon?
They can't.
Why not?
Because they can't take stuff like that back with them. That was the whole purpose. It had to be a biological organism surrounded by... That's why they had to send it back as they did.
Don't you remember how they all came back naked?
Yeah.
Can't bring shit with them.
And the reason why the reason why the T-800s were able to go back is because they're literally just flesh over the top of.
Yeah. But what about the liquid metal motherfucker?
Same difference.
No, he's made out of liquid-ass metal.
He does have a point.
There's not actually any goddamn meat there.
Fair enough. All right.
He looks like meat.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and rewatch it.
Well, no, that's probably just one of those plot hole things.
Probably.
Yeah, that's one of those
Because,
deals.
well, there wouldn't be a movie if they could just go back with nukes. They'd just be like, well, fuck it.
Time travel.
If you take the third one into account, technically they are walking nukes because he throws his burned out power
That's true.
thing and out the window and sets off a mini nuke.
That's true. The T-800's power supplies.
And then he shoves the other one in the chick's mouth, which is altogether another level of sexual innuendo.
Well, then why don't they send them back a little bit further and just eliminate humankind? Oh wait, then
Then they wouldn't be.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I'm caught up. But still, they should. They're way more optimal plans.
Yeah. Well,
The AI that
Plot holes.
defeated us was dumb.
yeah, a little bit. It is a man-made program. So
You're a man-made program.
the next one here, Hannibal Lecter from both Silence of the Lambs as well as
yeah.
Hannibal.
He almost made my list.
Now, Silence of the Lambs, bad enough. Okay. Anthony sells that quite well.
He does. Anybody that needs a face mask like that needs to be strapped down to a
Well, I'm
dolly.
I'm looking at Hannibal right there because the TV series Hannibal, the actor that actually plays, and I don't know what his name is, the actor that plays Hannibal Lecter in the TV series Hannibal, I think that guy is even better than, how do you say that? Mads Mikkelsen. That guy right there is...
Wasn't he a Bond villain once?
He is a monster.
He's a scary dude.
You want to talk about cold,
love that guy.
calculating, and scary, and intense, and
he was in Casino Royale and
Yup.
excellent.
and Quantum Solace. It looks like
He had
the
an
video
eye
game.
that bled.
That guy is just
Creepy.
He's intense. Next, I got Kilgrave. Kilgrave obviously is.
What number is that?
This one is number
He can't count.
6.
He didn't number his the way I did.
So at
Kilgrave's
all?
number 7. Number 7. I didn't number any of these. My number 3 is Elijah Price. Yeah, you don't know his name, do you? Nothing?
Nope.
Nobody? You know his name?
I know the name. I can't remember where it's from, though.
It's Samuel L. Jackson's character.
Yep.
And
from Black Snake. No.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, I know.
Motherfucker, just say what it is.
He's thinking. I'm giving him a second. Nothing? Unbreakable.
Yep.
Unbreakable. Yeah, he's Mr. Glass, and he's the guy that believes that superheroes and things of that nature, the reason why comic books exist are because it's part of storytelling, and we've been doing it, forever. Cave paintings and mythological characters and things of that nature, and he thinks that it's based off of something true and real.
His superpower sucks dicks.
Well, he thinks that what's wrong with him, he's one end of the spectrum, therefore there has to be someone on the other end of the spectrum that is completely unbreakable because he is so fragile. And so he has amassed quite a bit of money, and he starts blowing shit up. People, as far as like a train wreck, because that's where he ends up finding Bruce Willis's character. But he also, I believe, he blows up a building and maybe drops a plane in the air. It's one of the two, or both.
He's done a lot.
He's killed lots and lots
they
and
show
lots
a couple
of people.
of things.
Exactly. Well, they're talking about it and the tragedy of things. That's how it starts. The movie starts
move.
with Bruce Willis getting on this train, and the train wrecks, and he's the only one that ends up surviving. But then in the background of things, they were talking about on the news about a building that got knocked down with a bunch of people in it. They're talking about all these tragedies in the background of things. And then this tragedy happens where everybody that's aboard the train, except for Bruce Willis's character, dies. And then he goes out his way to meet him. And then while they're talking and all that good stuff, he starts to figure out that Bruce Willis has powers, and he starts to say, hey, this is what this is. And Bruce Willis is fighting against it because he's like, no, I got hurt when I was a kid. And he's like, no, you didn't. You really didn't. You're just telling yourself that. And in reality, he didn't get hurt. But then at the very, very, very end of things, he's talking with Elijah's character, and he says, it is very hard to look at you when you're doing that, Jareth.
Yeah, right? He's totally ready for your dick, Matt. Go ahead.
He looks Asian.
He does look Asian. Oh, my God.
Rude.
Wow. I didn't think you could get your mouth open that wide.
Wow. So
It can go a little bit wider.
giggity.
Wow.
So his character, his whole purpose is to just find another person that's like him, but on the other end of things. And so he's killed just thousands of people to
Well,
accomplish
for all
this.
we know, there were lots of people that were just like him also in those crashes he caused.
Maybe.
But they're guaranteed dead.
Right, maybe he's trying to find the other person that's on the other end of the spectrum from him, and he
Yeah.
would have continued to go around and kill people had he not found Bruce Willis's character,
Or until he, you know, woke up and got out of bed wrong or
and it killed him. Right.
slipped getting out of the shower.
But Bruce Willis's character, throughout the whole movie, he's able to touch people and see
Some
kind
kids
of
threw a kickball at him and crushed his torso.
Yeah, it just destroys him. Bruce Willis's character, he bumps into a guy who has a gun on him, and he's able to see that he has the gun on him. And then by the end of it, he's like standing in a crowded area, and he starts trying to find people that are doing bad things, and that's how he ends up finding the guy who has a person held captive and all that good stuff. So he's able to tell when someone's done something bad. Well, up to this moment, you know that he's not ever actually touched Mr. Glass, and not in this fashion anyway. I mean, he's got gloves on whenever he's doing it and stuff like that, and so he's not able to tell what has happened. And then at the end of the movie, he starts talking. He has this little speech about how sometimes, superheroes have supervillains that, oftentimes they're good friends, and it turns out that he is in fact this. And Bruce Willis is like, "Holy shit, you're the one that's caused all of this." But it is an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Shamalama ding dong.
It is one of those movies. So you kind of saw something like this coming from back whenever you first kicked the movie on. Happens. Next on the list, number 2 is Daredevil's Kingpin. As we have already discussed, so I'll skate past it.
Because fuck yeah.
Yeah, my top selection here is the Joker from The Dark Knight.
I told you. I told him.
What?
I was like, damn it, I should have put money on this. I was like, there's no way in hell that at least one of us doesn't have the Joker on our list.
Oh, yeah, no, it has
of
to.
any iteration.
It has to.
See, I was going to put the Joker, but Jack Nicholson's version.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the fact that, kind of different than what I was saying a little bit ago for your calculated and methodical bad guys, the Joker is more spontaneous and very much just...
I call bullshit.
Why?
So do
Why?
I. Because in that movie, everything that he does is planned.
To the degree of, okay, I'm gonna do this, which is ultimately gonna result in this. I'm not talking about long-term plans for anything.
He planned all of those things at least 3-4 steps ahead.
But that's
I think
fine.
he only planned one step ahead.
I think on everything that he does is 1 to 2 steps at best. When you're looking at the Joker's, Heath Ledger's version of the Joker versus, let's say, the character for Law Abiding Citizen, you're talking about that is the level of calculating.
Well, I would say that the Joker has at least a normal level of planning for an average person,
maybe
with a maniacal evil mind,
right?
Because
but that's the thing. If he's going after his whole the most planning, I think that he did in all of that entire movie was the bank heist.
Yeah.
I think that out of everything, it's the bank heist.
When he got arrested and then that other guy came to jail, that cell phone inside the guy's body.
That's still one step. That's just one step. That's just one, maybe 2 steps. I have literally I've taken a guy and I put a bomb inside of him and I've sent him to the same place that I'm going.
That is at least 3 steps.
Okay,
Because
fine.
he wanted another guy. He wanted the guy in prison.
Okay.
So he needed to be there to collect him, but also to confront Batman with this other plan that he has to destroy Batman's choice with the devil's choice, like blah, blah, blah.
Doesn't matter.
All these people.
So here's... he's making people weigh 2 options against one another, and at best you're looking at 2 to 3 steps. Okay, whereas with the dude from Law Abiding Citizen, you're sitting here going on about
that's
how
years of planning.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's different than what this is. His whole goal is to.
We're not arguing that.
His whole goal is to simply amass chaos and explosions and destruction and just making people break them humanity.
What we are
down.
saying is that when he says, "Do I look like a man with a plan?" we are saying yes.
Yes.
And I think that he does know, in fact, what he would do with that car if he caught it.
Yes. And that was the reason that I was going to put Jack Nicholson, because Jack Nicholson really did not ever have plans as Joker.
No, he was just like, I'm gonna shoot this guy now?
He planned a goddamn
I'm gonna do this
parade.
now.
From the very beginning, he planned a parade with balloons and gas and floats. It takes months to make floats.
You're afloat.
Thank you.
You're right.
Thank you.
But, the point still stands with Heath Ledger.
But he's like Jack Nicholson's Joker would still make snap decisions. The Joker, the Heath Ledger's Joker, I don't think he ever made a single snap decision that was just like, I think I'm going to do this now.
Except for lighting all the money on fire.
Jack Nicholson never made snap decisions.
That was his intention. You could tell when he lit that money on fire. That was something that he intended to do before he was in that room.
I don't think Jack Nicholson ever made snap decisions as his Joker either.
I think he did.
He might not have.
No, because...
But I don't...
Even going to the art museum, he decided to do that just for meeting Vicky Vale, and he sent the mask to her so she would be protected from the Joker gas, and he made sure his face was all prettied up and everything.
That's true.
He planned everything out.
That's true.
But
he even brought the mask to her apartment so he could break it.
But
you got to break her for your eggs.
They don't really play up his unplannedness as much as the Heath Ledger Joker.
They don't.
True.
Because that one, like every time you turn around, he's like, I don't got a plan. I promise.
Yeah.
Pure chaos.
That is very true. They play up his maniacal, crazy side in the Jack Nicholson version, where they play out the man with no plan in the Heath Ledger version,
Right. Okay.
Which is baloney.
And now we have the Jared Leto to look forward to and see what he's doing.
God.
I think that we're going back a little bit to the fucking actually maniacal.
I think you're probably right. We'll see. I think I'm somewhere in the middle on that. I think that I have a final honorable mention at the top of my top end of my list here, and that's going to be Ultron. But again, it gets back into that AI, and suddenly you get kind of question mark there. But still, Dire Monkey, do you have anything that you want to add? Any villains that you feel like we haven't covered on this?
I've got a couple that I've came up with during this show, and it's a top 5.
Okay,
2 of them have already been mentioned, but we'll start at 5. Oscar from Short Circuit 2.
Okay.
Because the guy's just a dick messing with a self-aware robot with the mind of a child.
Yes.
You're an asshole for doing that.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Fuck you. Number 4, Simon Phoenix from Demolition Man.
Yeah, I forgot about him. He's awesome as shit.
Just a walking riot.
Yup.
There's a man without a plan.
That is exactly what he is.
Does plan sometimes, but he is far more like, I need to go in a direction now.
Yep.
My favorite part of this whole thing is he's trying to kill the senator or whatever he is, and he's like, you can't do it. And he's like, you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hands a gun off somebody else. It's like, you didn't build that fucking backdoor in on these guys.
Yep.
He has very simple plans.
Yeah.
I need a gun.
Yeah.
Give me
What
a
does
gun.
that mean? Gotcha. This is what I'm doing.
Number 3 would be Moriarty from the Sherlock series, the new Sherlock
yes.
series.
Yep.
Oh my God, that guy's great.
And then
From the Sherlock TV show?
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
movie?
Now that
TV show with Benedict Cumberbatch.
now that is a man with a plan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Plan.
No,
I can't wait for that to come back. It's been pushed back to
And you don't even
2017.
know what the fucking plan is.
I'm pretty sure he's just a dog chasing cars, guys. He wouldn't know what to do with it if he caught it.
He would fuck it.
Yes, he would. He would hold it down and fuck it, and then make
Take
it,
pictures and mail it to your mother.
and then make it decide on whether or not it needed to kill itself or continued on with the plan.
Exactly. Number 2, everybody's been saying it, and it's kind of a tie between Fisk and
Kilgrave?
Kilgrave.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those, they fucking
I would like
nailed
to see
their
them
villains.
fight. That'd be a good fight.
I don't think it would be much of a fight. I think that Kilgrave would probably win.
Kilgrave would be like, don't fight me. Die.
I can see Fisk sneaking up behind him, hitting him with a cane or like a big punch to the back of the head.
It's not really a fight then.
Yeah, but it'd be cool. I'd watch it.
Yeah, those, if nothing else, those shows really nailed their villains.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that, like what you're saying, Jareth, it's the human nature on them that makes them more real.
Yeah, the more down to earth feel.
Yeah, it makes it more relatable, more understandable. Almost makes them more evil than most of the rest of the list. For the most part.
It makes them a little bit more scary because, I don't feel like I'm going to be involved with a supervillain ever.
Right.
But I could run into a man like Fisk. I could get in his way on accident.
Well, Kilgrave would be more likely because you're talking about a guy who's basically a politician,
bump into
surrounded
him.
by security and things of that nature.
He wears purple, so just avoid people in purple.
I always do.
Hey, I like purple.
Prince, Kilgrave.
So, I could bump into him on the subway like that guy with the suit did.
Yep.
And he'd just be like, give me your suit. I'm like, well, damn it, that's my really nice suit. Or he could be like, I hate your face. Jump on the subway tracks. Thank God we don't have a subway here. Or Kilgraves. Just throwing that out there. I'm glad we don't have those around.
Right? That that's a thing. So,
What's your number one? Was that your number one?
Yeah, it's like a toss up between those two.
Yeah.
Depending on the episode in the series, it's one or the other.
Oh, yeah.
I have another good one that we didn't talk about.
Who's that?
Magneto. Talk about a terrifying villain.
No, I think that Magneto's I was going to put him on the list. My
Which
issue
Magneto?
Yeah.
Not Days of Future Past series, the original X-Men series. I'm brain farting on his name right now.
Ian McKellen.
Ian McKellen, yeah. He portrays the character very well, in my opinion. But I think just the concept of Magneto, a man who, A, can manipulate metal, which is in basically anything and everything that you are surrounded by at any given point throughout the day, who basically his main motivation in anything that he does is mass genocide on anybody that doesn't have mutant powers. That's kind of a terrifying concept.
Mutant supremacy. He's like the Ku Klux Klan, but for mutants.
It's just a terrifying concept. I think that's a great villain.
If you want to go off of that, then I'll vote in the Dark Phoenix.
Okay.
That's just because she's got bullshit powers.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm a cosmic entity. Fuck everything.
Exactly. That's precisely what it is. It's like, well, I could just destroy you because
I could unmake reality if I really felt like it.
I'm going to throw another one in there. Just
do it.
Just to top out the list. This would be the all-time greatest villain of all time.
Do it.
Hitler from Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Actually, could we just say Hitler? It's like if we're talking about all media,
specify?
Genghis Khan.
all mediums. Is life a medium?
Life.
Can we say the universe? I vote the universe. The universe is the biggest villain.
Because the universe just takes everyone, bends you over the table, and says, "Take it."
Well, yeah, like think about it. Like the universe is everything that's happening to you, right?
Yep.
How many times in your day is just like something like "fuck you"?
Yeah.
Yep.
Where you're like, oh, I stubbed my toe getting out of bed. I do this every day, and I fucked it up today. Thanks, universe.
This is the 900th day my face had been unintentionally wetted.
It isn't.
What?
The universe is evil not for the horriblest things it does. Like, I'm going to put you in a car crash and make you die. It's evil for all the fucked up little shit.
Yeah, it just fucks with you throughout the day.
It's like, hey, man.
Your elbow's going to hit your coffee cup and knock your coffee onto the ground, and now your white carpet's
You
stained.
really like that chick?
Just for reasons.
Time to spill your coffee on her face.
Yeah, for reasons. Just take
So
it.
here we are at the very tail end of the episode, and I want to go ahead and do a couple of the things that we typically do. So as we mentioned at the very beginning of the episode over here at Spellbook Studios where we do our recordings, I appreciate you guys very much for allowing us to do this, as always.
Absolutely.
I look forward to doing the upcoming episode with you guys for the mysterious announcement that we're getting ready to do.
And then we're going to have you guys on to talk about your game.
Hells yes. Next, I'd like to mention Flick Freaks. You're a Flick Freaker.
Flak Fracks.
That guy. How is that? We got one coming up, the next Sunday? Saturday.
Wait, are you talking about the
football one?
That is Sunday.
That is Sunday.
I actually will not be able to make that.
Well, you're a bastard. I'm going to be there.
I will have to work so that Mike can go do a thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I'll be on for that. I'll be on with the Flick Freaks over there with Mr. Andrew and all of them. How is that all going over there? You guys got anything?
Going super good. I think we just hit 12,000 subscribers to the channel. We got voted number 10 in the reactors on YouTube. Overall?
Have you increased your medication based on those numbers?
No, I haven't.
No.
And will the Fine Brothers be suing you for copyright infringement for reaction videos?
I don't know. Probably.
Look how much he gives a shit.
We're on the. I don't react. I'm not one of the reactors. That's a different part of the channel.
Jareth just gets on there and makes stupid faces every now and again.
Yeah.
So,
like the Chinese face.
Like the Chinese face he had a minute ago.
Super racist.
Super.
So, Flick Freaks, Spellbook, all that good business. We also got the other show, which is Agents of Sir with Agent Jones and Agent Dawson, and we appreciate them to no end. Hope they get you guys to listen to them on occasion. That's over there, Agents of Sir. You can find all of that on our website, which is over at thealltowermedia.com. You can check out all of the stuff for Spellbook over at their websites. You got spellbook.com.
Yep.
All of your
links
forums.
to everything else.
That's everything you need to know for those guys. You make sure you're on there for the forums. Allie, why do you have to go on the forums?
To win shit.
Win shit.
Hey, it worked this time.
It did work this time. She's learning.
Fuck you guys.
Clever girl.
Clever girl.
You did not just use the Velociraptor line
Yes,
on me.
we did.
Velociraptors are awesome as shit.
Yes, they are.
Jareth,
Watch your
Jareth
ass.
is a humanoid velociraptor.
I've
You were
got
saying
paws.
You guys have a new shirt.
we do. We have a new shirt. You can actually go on and you can purchase stuff from us on the Spellbook. Or I'm
Buy
sorry, on Spellbook. You can buy stuff on Spellbook, but you can go to alltowermedia.com and actually purchase shirts and panties.
And here's the
Panties?
deal.
Yeah.
If you want to buy something from us but don't want to get anything, we also have a Patreon
We do have a
campaign.
Patreon account, and that Patreon account, you can look us up via alltowermedia.com.
But definitely everybody should have a pair of our panties.
Yes, very much so.
As soon as I have extra money, I'm going to get some.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's going to say All Tower right on my butt.
There you go.
I've got it. I'm wearing them right now.
Yours says show us your crits. He's just nodding. This is fantastic. So our Patreon account, it's in order for us to continue to increase and develop the quality of media that we are putting out for you all, and we hope that you all enjoy what it is we do.
They spend it entirely on the amount of sugar they give me before each episode.
which is amazing money spent. So get over
I'm
there.
dying of diabetes.
Diabetes.
Save me, people.
Diabetes.
I'm Walter Brimley.
I'm Walter Brennan.
I've diabetes. Wilford Brimley.
Hey,
I've got diabetes.
I'm just quoting her.
Hey, we both fucked that up. Don't
You
put it all
fucked it
on
up.
me.
I'm just saying what you're saying. So make sure you get over, check out all our stuff, check out the Spellbook stuff, check out the stuff over on Flick Freaks, like us, share us, comment on everything. If you give us a comment on an episode you'd like us to do, we'll try to get that put into the works. Every single one that has been commented upon that we should do an episode for, we have done an episode for.
All like
so
7 of them.
there have been several now. We've done several of them.
7 would count as several in my head.
Yeah. So that's where we're at this
I might
point
have
in time.
overshot it, so.
Jareth, do you have anything you want to add?
No.
Let me take that as a
Bye,
no.
internets.
Oh, bye, Internet.
Bye, internets. All right.
Love you.
Thank you for listening. This has been our newest episode. We'll see you next time.
Eat a dick.
I love turtles.